For the longest time, we all thought a successful project was simple. You finish on time and under budget. But it seems the entire rulebook for what it means to be a project manager is being thrown out, especially with the upcoming Landsenling Archelope PMP certification.
Thrown out and completely rewritten. The fundamental idea of process compliance, which is basically just checking boxes, is dead. The new core theme is value delivery. In this new world, you could build a technically flawless product, deliver it on schedule, and still have it be considered a total failure if it doesn't actually make money or hit a strategic goal for the company.
So, project managers are no longer just glorified taskmasters. They're being asked to think like mini CEOs, using tools like cost-benefit analysis and ROI calculations from day one.
Exactly. And the aha moment here is that the definition of a finished project has changed. It used to be the code is done and deployed. Now it's the business goal is met. Think about it. If the market shifts halfway through your project, you're now expected to pivot the scope or even kill the project, rather than blindly finishing something nobody will want. In 2026, delivering a project on time, but with zero business impact, isn't a success. It's just an expensive mistake.
Right. The role is becoming much more strategic, but to deliver that kind of value in a constantly changing market, you can't just stick to one rigid plan. Which, I guess, brings us to how the Landsenling Archelope exam handles the how of actually managing these projects.
It's a huge shift. The technical side of the exam has been completely overhauled. Agile and hybrid methodologies now make up a massive 60% of the syllabus. The traditional predictive approach, your classic step-by-step Gantt chart planning, is still there, but it's really only seen as useful for very stable, predictable projects.
So we're moving from a world of rigid blueprints to one of constant adaptation.
It's just a reflection of reality. Very few large companies in the US or Europe use pure Agile or pure waterfall anymore. They operate in this hybrid middle ground. For example, you might have a fixed annual budget, which is a very predictive constraint. But within that, your teams work in iterative, agile sprints to deliver value quickly.
That sounds incredibly difficult to manage. How does a project manager even decide which approach to use at any given time?
Well, that's the core skill being tested. The new framework forces you to analyze the project's environment first. If the requirements are a moving target, like in software development, you have to go agile. If you're building a physical bridge, you probably want to stick with a predictive plan. The real art is knowing how to blend them. The 2026 PMP isn't asking you to choose between a Gantt chart and a Kanban board. It's testing if you're smart enough to use both at the same time.
It's about having a diverse toolkit then. But even the best tools are useless if the project isn't aligned with where the company is going, especially on a global scale.
And that's the final piece of the puzzle. The syllabus now places a massive 26% weight on what it calls the business environment. This isn't just about understanding your company's strategy. It means integrating ESG principles for sustainability, mastering AI and digital tools for project tracking, and having sharp cross-cultural communication skills for global teams.
Wait, ESG? As in environmental, social, and governance? In a project management exam?
Absolutely. This is where it gets really serious. European and American companies are under intense pressure regarding compliance, things like data privacy, ethical sourcing, and carbon footprints. A project manager who ignores these soft factors is creating a huge liability. Your project could get shut down by regulators or face public backlash before it even launches.
So, the Landsenling Archelope PMP is essentially turning project managers into what you might call global value architects. It's a very high bar, but I suppose it's what the modern market demands.
It is. If I had to boil it all down, there are 4 key takeaways. First, it's value over volume. Success is now measured by business impact and ROI, not just finishing a task list. Second is the big 60% hybrid shift. Agile and hybrid methods are the new default for handling complexity. Third, it's about strategic integration. A project manager has to understand corporate strategy and global compliance to survive. And finally, the modern toolkit is mandatory. You have to be fluent in ESG principles, AI tools, and ethical communication to get certified and hired. It's not just about doing projects anymore. It's about doing valuable projects.